Patrick.
Yes?
I have a new favorite saying. My new favorite catchphrase.
Okay,
and it is this.
Okay.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I don't think so. Winner, winner, Sheen dinner.
That is, of course, another word of wisdom from the inimitable Charlie Sheen. I like saying the word inimitable.
Yeah, he's
inimitable.
He is he's become the new Chuck Norris.
He has, hasn't he? Yeah.
He was briefly usurped on the internet by Rebecca Black for Friday. But now that meme has gone by the wayside.
Very quickly, too, I might add.
Yeah, well, you know, it's the internet. Charlie Sheen is back. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
That's right.
I don't think so. Winner, winner.
Sheen dinner.
Well, that sounds...
He's a Sheenius. And in fact,
Sheenius.
that is one of 22 different catchphrases.
Oh, that's right. I heard about that,
he is actually trying to copyright and trademark. Now, there's a precedent for this. Paris Hilton apparently tried to copyright "That's hot."
That's hot.
I don't know if did she actually copyright that? I don't
know. We'll get the intern on it.
But among some of the phrases that he's
he wants to own the rights to,
lock them up so they can go on shirts and mugs and what have you, and winning. And you know what? I think that's his.
Yeah,
I think he deserves that one.
I would say, yeah, but the ones that he really...
Other ones, Tiger Blood.
That one he owns.
Vatican Assassin.
I don't know.
Rockstar from Mars.
Yeah.
Sober Valley Lodge. Sheen's Goddesses. And Sheenius, just among a few of them.
Well, I would say that he owns Sheenius and Tiger Blood.
Violent Torpedo of Truth. Another one.
What about
and defeat is not an option.
And what about Tiger Blood? What about Adonis DNA?
I don't see that here, but I'm sure that's probably on the list.
Has to be in there.
Now, all these and more were on display on his Torpedo of Truth tour.
Yes.
Which had an inauspicious debut in Detroit.
Yeah, it went terrible because whenever a former meth addict says, "I'm going to wing it."
Never a good idea, kids.
Because that's what happens usually. You go downtown,
sure.
You see the homeless people shuffling around. You go to the park, you see, downtown area, Pigeon Park, where the heroin addicts all hang out. And you usually, that's what you do. You throw $80 at them, and you go, "An hour, entertain me." And it always ends up.
I'm gonna try that next time.
And then you give them $520 to hang out with you for 20 minutes personally and sign an 8x10.
Now, if you haven't heard the news, Detroit it was a train wreck.
Yes.
It was a disaster.
Yeah.
People walked out, booed, etc. Then it got retooled. The whole show got retooled when he went to the next stop, which was Chicago, and it went a lot better. But I mean, what are you actually paying to see when you go to see this thing?
Well, I think it's funny that a lot of people were like, "We were expecting a comedy show," and other people going, "It was never billed as a comedy show." And I'm like, he's not a comedian. He's never written anything.
No.
You know, he goes on and he does these little sound bites, but those sound bites don't go an hour.
Right.
But I do have to say that the retooling was smart because he got an MC, so people ask questions through the MC, and Charlie would answer the MC. They got rid of their opening act, stand-up comic, which was mercilessly booed.
Yeah, I read some of the jokes that he was. Oh boy!
I have a feeling it was a guy that somehow Charlie met, or somebody knew somebody.
His dealer, probably.
Well, I don't know. It is like, and the guy was willing to do it for free.
Sure.
You know, and so I could imagine that happen. He's like, "Well, I can't pay you, but if you want to be winning." And then the guy was like, "Sure, that sounds like a great idea. What's the worst that could happen?" Oh, the career is over. So how did the last one go, the third one?
About the same as the previous one.
About the Chicago one.
It is a work in progress, but, I mean, look, the guy's not a stage performer.
No.
I mean, look, you know this as well as anyone. You're a stand-up comedian. You go up, you're a stand-up comic, you're on stage, you know, dealing with a crowd is not easy.
No.
It takes years to learn how to do that.
Yes.
And just because you're good at hitting your mark and saying Chuck Lorre's punchlines does not necessarily make you a stage performer.
Exactly, especially when it's like, I always say that laughter is the only form of unsolicited applause. And you know immediately whether people like you or not when you're on stage. And And for somebody like Charlie, where things weren't going well, and it just wasn't working out, and then all of a sudden people are just like, we're out of here. Because he had no save.
Right.
He had no save.
Yeah, no plan B. Now, this brings us to the next part of this little story. And what is the future of 2.5 Men? The most successful TV comedy right now. And Charlie has been making little buzzies that he's thinking, well, if they ask me back, maybe we can work this out. Maybe we can, I think both sides are kind of have sort of realized, you know what, that's a lot of money to walk away from.
Yes.
And they're all kind of tentatively creeping back to see what can happen. But whether or not this actually happens is up in the air. And apparently, John Cryer is working on a play.
Nice.
It's limited run in New York, so he probably would be open for another season. But any hopes of this thing getting sorted out by this season, pretty much done if he's accepted a play in New York.
Sorry, I can't go and make my tomb. What does John Cryer make, $1 million per episode? So I can't go make my $1 million per episode. I'm making $100 a day doing a play.
You know what? You know what play he should go in? That Spider-Man one. I hear that's a
It's doing great. It's doing well. So in summation, do you think Charlie Sheen's going to make his way all the way out to Vancouver? Do you think that's really going to happen?
Barring any unfortunate medication mishaps, I assume he'll make it. I'm going to check Craigslist. I hear you can get tickets for like 40, 50 cents at this point.
I got 63 VIP ticks I got to unload.
Oh, we got to talk after this.
And by the way, I predict that Charlie Sheen will not be able to make it out to Vancouver on account of exhaustion or some other Lindsay Lohan
dehydration.
Excuse.
How about that one? That was a good one for a while.
Some Lindsay Lohan excuse.
Good point.
All right.
Well, whether that comes to pass, we'll find out, and we will see you next time. Another episode of the podcast.